down to penalties. Charlton's Albie Morgan struck a post. Advantage Forest Green. Pressure suddenly heaped on the shoulders of Adidi Oshilaja to keep the home side in it. He did. But Forest Green weren't to be denied. Sean Mikulski kept his cool as Rovers kept their cup show on the road. It'll take them to Premier League Bournemouth next.
At Griffin Park, Brentford gambled that a much-changed side would still be too strong for Cambridge, a team who are yet to score this season. They soon changed to that. Mark Richards put the League Two side ahead. Before now, Cambridge fans had witnessed 2 goalless draws this season, but here they were causing promotion-chasing Brentford a headache. Andrew Dallas and George Maris were both close to sealing the deal. You wondered if that missed opportunity might come back to haunt the U's, especially once Brentford finally got going. When Marcus Force tucked away Ollie Watkins' cross, the Bees were favourites once again. But the final 20 minutes didn't produce a second goal, and so a penalty shootout left them vulnerable, certainly once Luka Rakic failed to score. Callum Burton standing still and making the save. That meant that Luke Daniels had to guess correctly to keep the Bees in the competition. But Harvey Nibbs sent him the wrong way, and Cambridge recorded one of the shock results of the night.
Barnsley and Carlisle had never played each other in this competition before, but the League Two team immediately looked at home at Oakwell. Harry McGurdy couldn't believe his luck as Cameron McGeechan's back pass fell into his path for the opening goal. And the Yorkshire hospitality almost led to a second away goal, but Ryan Loft, on loan from Leicester, couldn't quite make his acrobatics do the trick. Defensive errors were a feature of the match. McGurdy's misplaced back pass looked to have been punished by Connor Chaplin, and then by defender Jordan Williams. But Byron Webster cleared the danger and the visitors stayed ahead. And it got better soon after the restart. McGurdy continued to be a handful, the Barnsley defence running scared of the midfielder, and it took a push by Mads Andersen to stop his run, although Nathan Thomas wanted his follow-up shot to stand. Penalty, said referee Bentona, and Jack Bridge calmly made their 2-0 lead official. Barnsley have never lost at home under Daniel Stendel, so an instant response was expected. But Corley Woodrow's opportunist header found the post, not the net, after good work by Malik Wilson-Williams. That was as good as it got for the Championship side, beaten at Blackpool at the same stage last year, because another defensive error was seized on by Nathan Thomas, and the Sheffield United loanee completed a memorable night for Stephen Pressley. In fact, the Carlisle boss thought his team could have won by more, because they created chances until the end. Now for more of the same against Mansfield on Saturday.
While Huddersfield are struggling to settle on their return to the Championship, Lincoln have made themselves at home in League One. Michael Bostwick's early header suggested the Imps would continue their upward curve in the Carabao Cup. Debuting keeper Ryan Schofield impressing as one of 10 changes in the Town lineup, and matched by his opposite number just before the break, Grant Smith keeping Juninho Bacuna at bay. Successive wins since promotion had put a spring in Lincoln's step, with Jack Payne liveliest of all. Once again, Schofield was equal to the challenge. After relegation from the Premier League, Huddersfield's 1 point so far had made it 6 months since their last win, and coach Jan Sievert's rotation policy, with 7 debutants in all, produced a disjointed display. Despite 5 changes of their own, Lincoln's greater focus and determination eventually created the decisive moment of the game. Harry Toffolo's deep cross, confidently met by Harry Anderson, who also scored in the weekend win at Rotherham. After that, another successful visit to Yorkshire was rarely in doubt, as Lincoln launched another cup run and secured their first win over Huddersfield for 25 years. Payne will still have to explain exactly how he missed that chance, though.
Still to come, bitter rivals AFC Wimbledon and MK Dons clash for just the 8th time in their turbulent history. But first to Glanford Park, where unbeaten Derby County clashed with the EFL's bottom team, Scunthorpe United. Commentary comes from Paul Walker.
Bennett. Shinnie scooped over the top, delightful. Bennett! Well, he tried to square it for Marriott. And he might have been better going for goal himself, Mason Bennett. McAtee. Still he goes. Can he measure the right kind of cross, though? He's given that away to Patterson. Stolen back by Lund. Trying to get round Bielik. With a break here on the angle for Hamill. Hamill deflected. Wonderful save. That is brilliant from Hamer. Somehow manages to claw this one out. Evans. Buchanan. Surging into the area. Buchanan! Brilliant goal! And one to remember for 18-year-old Lee Buchanan. Well, Derby have battled away all night trying to find a breakthrough, and it's taken the teenager to get them in front.
Just another game, said Wimbledon boss Wally Downs in the build-up to this latest visit by MK Dons. Club supporters will beg to differ, but this was certainly no ordinary cup tie. The visitors had a penalty within 2 minutes as Regan Poole was sent tumbling by home goalkeeper Nick Zanev. The home team feared the worst possible start, but Conor McGrandle's penalty was a let-off. Only the home fans were celebrating. And they had reason to cheer again even more minutes later, when last season's FA Cup hero against West Ham, Scott Wagstaff, showed his eye for goal on the big occasion. They could have been losing, instead they were leading, but staying ahead was another matter. Poole was all action in attack for Paul Tisdale's team, and this time McGrandles got his angles and his aim spot on. The chances kept on coming before and after the break. Again, McGrandles was a key player for the visitors. His inviting pass to David Kasumu was perfectly measured and the finish so attractive. Not that home goalkeeper Zanev was in any mood to appreciate it. He needn't have worried though, because his team was in no mood to go quietly. And on the hour, the drama moved up another notch as Kwesi Appiah went down under a challenge from Ryan Harley. Craig Hicks awarded the game's second penalty. Up stepped the captain Joe Pigott, but the home cheers never arrived. Lee Nichols showing expert anticipation. 4 minutes into stoppage time and Wimbledon had one last desperate attack. Substitute Rod McDonald crossed in hope as much as expectation, but Luke O'Neill had no doubts, composed and powerful for the equaliser. Penalties beckoned, but the nerves were beginning to tell. Wimbledon's Callum Riley was first to feel the pain as Nichols continued his heroics. Bailey Cargill then suffered at the hands of Zanev to leave MK Dons leading 2-1. Pigott hoped to level the shootout at 3-3, but his aim once more let him down. That meant the next kick taken by MK's Alex Gilby could win the tie, and the midfielder marked his return to action from injury by coolly rolling in the decider.
Simon Grayson's return's been perfect at Blackpool, 2 games and 2 wins. The feel-good factor back. It all began so well here. Liam Feeney's cross, Ollie Turton's diving header. Grayson gave a first start to Belgian defender Rocky Bushiri on loan from Norwich. Rocky landing a painful punch on his own team. This was hardly eye of the tiger and more shin of the sheepish. The second half had the home team boxing rather more clever. Max skipper Fiacre Kelleher's positioning was perfect as Ryan Hardy went close. But Macclesfield made their chances count. A great steal by Emmanuel Osadebi on Jay Spearing set Virgil Gomis free. Lots of work to do, but work he did brilliantly. A crashing finish, and League Two led League One. Gomis's first goal for the club. The lead intact as the clock hit 90 and the ball reached home danger man Armand Nandouillet. Miles Welsh Hayes was 2 hands on and Blackpool handed the chance to save the tie. A chance Nandouillet himself seized, emphatically forcing even more penalties, in which Macclesfield goalkeeper Owen Evans took centre stage. Sully Kaikai and Jordan Thompson failed to beat him in the shootout.
And then he himself showed how it should be done. Not bad for the young Welshman in only his third Macclesfield game.
A rare away day in the Carabao Cup for Reading, who'd played their last 5 games in the competition at the Madejski. They didn't have to travel far and might have led early at Adams Park. Lucas Boye taking a trip at the wrong moment, but still managing to test Ryan Alsop. Wickham matched their local rivals from the Championship and then led them. Alex Samuel glancing home Josh Parker's corner, and Reading were facing the prospect of a 3rd defeat of the season. They responded swiftly. John Swift's perfect pass, prodded goalward by George Puskás, and then again after Alsop intervened. The Romanian striker's first goal for the club since joining from Inter Milan. That kind of pedigree was almost matched by Wickham's talisman, Adi Akinfenwa, bashing the crossbar, and penalties beckoned. Memorably so for Rafael Cabral. Reading's Brazilian keeper saved twice on his debut, and after Fred Onyedinma was denied, Danny Loader, who very nearly joined Wolves on deadline day, instead lifted the early season mood for the Royals as they secured a place in round 2. For 2,000 travelling fans, a short and happy trip home.
Newport boss Michael Flynn had told his club's fans not to travel to Gillingham to save their money for the weekend's home game with Plymouth. Those who missed the trip missed out on a thriller. Scott Bennett's foul on Regan Charles Cook set the theme for the night. Penalty number 1 taken and scored just by Brandon Hanlon, whose night rather peaked there. Into the second half, and the same play made the most of Carl Howkins' defensive uncertainty to win the Gills a second penalty kick. If county keeper Nick Townsend was close to Hanlon's first kick, he got closer still to this one. Hanlon's luck was definitely getting worse. When he broke away with pace and purpose, a 2-goal lead seemed there for the taking. It was, but for Townsend again. And the rebound, well, the less said about that, the better. On 84 minutes, a set-piece offered County a lifeline, which Tristan Abrahams made the most of to level the tie, for a team who were noted FA Cup experts last season, reaching round 5. Referee Trevor Kettle proved well named. Into added time, he whistled again. Abrahams from 0 to 0. Mark Burns sent sprawling. Mikhail Unjoli took this one and scored with some style. Surely the winner. But deeper still into added time, and Kettle gave a 4th penalty inside the 90 minutes. Unjoli's pull on Daniel Leadbitter. Enough to see Unjoli get a second yellow card as well. Porrick Amond is among League Two's most lethal. 2-2, and the cue for the more decisive drama of the shootout, in which goalkeeper Townsend proved heroic for Newport. Mark Marshall's shot saved, and Abraham's next up to send Newport into round 2.
2 defeats and bottom spot in the Championship. Blackburn's start to the season has been far from straightforward. Unlike the goal they conceded early at Ewood Park, Jivaro Nepomuceno allowed to venture forth and fire Oldham in front with the minimum of fuss. The Latics haven't exactly made a flying start in League Two either, with no points so far, but this started to look like it might be their night. As Rovers upped the tempo, Ben Brereton's header might have struck the hand of the unwitting Zach Mills. By then, Blackburn boss Tony Mowbray had decided that his 11 changes was a few too many and turned to an experienced bench. Among them, Bradley Dack, ready to pounce when Oldham finally faltered. And 5 minutes later, Dack's presence helped Joe Rothwell's free kick find the back of the net. Whoever got the final touch, the goal was ruled out, and Blackburn's belief that they could finish the job faded rather after that. Instead, with 10 minutes left, Oldham led again. A shaky Rovers rearguard teeing up Mohamed Maouche, and we had an upset on our hands. Which was still the case in stoppage time, when Stuart Downing played to the whistle and did what he's been doing for his entire career for his first Blackburn goal. And the home side followed that 92nd minute equaliser with a 95th minute winner. Danny Graham, Dack and Rothwell providing a simple finish to a night that had been anything but for Blackburn.
A first ever League Cup meeting between Swansea and Northampton, and 60 places separating them in the EFL standings, but the Cobblers did themselves proud. Matt Warburton with a slice of knockout glory after looking sharp throughout. The 2013 winners needed a saviour, and off the bench steps forward Andre Ayew. Following a loan spell in Turkey with Fenerbahce, he hadn't appeared for the Swans in 15 months, and he scored his first goal for the club since May of 2016 with 10 minutes left. With Town's resistance broken, the Championship team pressed home their advantage. A sweet strike from George Byers, bye-bye to visiting giant-killing aspirations. The poaching instinct of a seasoned frontman was ultimately the difference. 2 from Ayew left Northampton feeling blue. The Ghanaian with quite a return to action to see off a terrific effort from the League Two side.
The teams bore no resemblance to the weekend's 1-1 league draw. Between them 17 changes for Albion debuts for Grady Diangana and Charlie Austin, and the two combined early. Diangana shot parried, Austin redefining Poacher's finish. Debut goals don't come any easier. But the Baggies looked easy meat at set plays on Saturday, and their second string looked just as shaky. Tom Bradshaw's first Millwall goal, and first for anyone in just over a year. Albion felt hard done by. Chris Brunt's corner met by Semi Ajayi's thumping header. Referee Ross Joyce spotted a foul. Ajayi's celebrations were cut short. But the Baggies' set-piece frailties were again their undoing. Yiji Scalak's corner sparked panic. Aidan O'Brien made it matter from inches. His first goal since last season's FA Cup quarter-finals. Millwall have enjoyed their week's double-header at the Hawthorns.
This, the first of 2 matches in 5 days between these two, has set the standard for Saturday's league game at Ashton Gate. Rangers found their unbeaten record under immediate attack. City's Antoine Semenyo and Famara Jeju were quickly into their stride on their first start to the season. Maybe because there were so many team changes, the game was always open. Rangers level within minutes. Naki Wells seemingly catching Daniel Bentley by surprise for his first goal of the campaign. Wells was just getting into his stride, with Mark Pugh quickly on his wavelength on his full debut. Elias Chair was also tuned in as Rangers turned the game around with less than half an hour played. But whatever Mark Warburton was planning to say to the home side at half-time needed a radical rethink, courtesy of City fullback Jack Hunt. His teammates may have been expecting a cross, but Rangers keeper Liam Kelly certainly wasn't ready for that thunderbolt. However coolly the 28-year-old accepted the praise. But if Hunt thought that was the goal of the night, Liam Walsh had other ideas on the hour. A first City goal to treasure. Even the boss, Lee Johnson, came to congratulate. City back in front at 3-2. No panic for Rangers, the chances kept on coming. Typically Wells at the heart of the action, doing everything right this time except score. And when Matt Smith went for glory with a follow-up, Bentley was ready to preserve City's advantage. Into the final minutes, and City still holding firm. But Chair had the Rangers fans out of their seats as he found Wells. The danger man cleverly drew a tackle from Walsh, and referee Andy Davis said penalty, no doubt in his mind. Ryan Manning showed equal conviction to level the scores at 3-3, and the game set for a penalty shootout, which went to sudden death after the regulation 5 kicks. Luke Amos edged Rangers 5-4 ahead. Up stepped City captain Bailey Wright to equalise, but Liam Kelly guessed right for his second save of the shootout and on his club debut. Rangers progressed to round 2, but City will surely be ready for them on Saturday.
In other round 1 ties, Thiago Silva scored his first Nottingham Forest goal as they beat Fleetwood Town. Jordi Hawula was twice on target as Coventry thumped Exeter 4-1. And Rochdale twice came from behind against crisis club Bolton to win 5-2. Confirmation then of the first round winners. Portsmouth were the first side to progress. They defeated Birmingham just over a week ago. Crewe will be thrilled with their victory at the Riverside. Newport County beating Gillingham is another upset. The match between Sheffield Wednesday and Bury is yet to be played due to Bury's continued financial problems. Here's the draw for the second round of the competition, where 13 Premier League clubs join the fray. Crawley and crew have been rewarded with visits from Norwich and Aston Villa. Newcastle host Leicester in an all-Premier League encounter, and there's also a meeting between arch-rivals Nottingham Forest and Derby County. Sheffield United welcome Blackburn to Bramall Lane, while Coventry City travel to Watford in round 2. It all kicks off in just under 2 weeks' time. Until then, it's goodbye.
The Giants are back. Don't miss out on our mega promotion. Subscribe to the sports package and get a free upgrade to premium.
The NFL. Today, Los Angeles Chargers versus New Orleans Saints. Live and exclusive on beIN Sports 12 HD. Tomorrow, Minnesota Vikings versus Seattle Seahawks. Live and exclusive on beIN Sports 12 HD.
We sent an exploratory team. Clark's on it.
So any guesses where all the people went?
Here we go again.
We've been hijacked.
He is Russell Lightbourne. Bow before using his name.
I don't think so.
How many people have you killed?
I believe you want to. I just don't believe you can.
Everything I did for my people.
Lock them up.
Boys, the dark! Run! I never meant for you to get hurt. Is that what you want to hear? I'm the bad guy?
The Hunter. Wednesday.
Fine, I'll be the bad guy.
On beIN Series 2. International cricket. The second Ashes Test. England versus Australia. Day 5. Today, live and exclusive on beIN Sports 13. The English Premier League. Today, live and exclusive on beIN Sports 11. Tomorrow, live and exclusive on beIN Sports 11.
European champions, Liverpool picked up their first silverware of the season in midweek. They added the Super Cup in Istanbul. Premier League champions Manchester City get their home opener against Tottenham today. That looks like the match of the day. That's the last of 7 live here on beIN Today.
Manchester City have hit the ground running.
Manchester City and Tottenham renew old rivalries. That's the final game of 7 live on beIN Sports today. Arsenal and Burnley get things underway at the Emirates, both of those sides winning on the opening weekend. Richard and Andy will be here to bring you all of the 5 o'clock kickoffs. We'll see Villa against Bournemouth, Brighton looking to follow up an impressive opening weekend win. They host West Ham today. Alex Iwobi in line for an Everton debut against Watford. Steve Bruce already under a little bit of pressure. The Newcastle boss, though, back on familiar territory. He takes his side to Carrow Road to face Norwich today. Liverpool go to Southampton today after that win in midweek against Chelsea. And then we conclude matters with Manchester City against Tottenham. That's the final game of 7 live here on beIN Sports. Early days, of course. West Ham, Chelsea and Watford in the bottom 3. Southampton, Norwich, Villa and